The families of 3 U.S. hikers awaiting trial in Iran on espionage charges are making an emotional new plea to have them released. NBC's chief foreign affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell has details on this. Andrea, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Matt. Iran announced that it will put the 3 American hikers on trial on espionage charges. As the families wait for an outcome, they worry about just what could be motivating Iran's regime.
The hikers, 27-year-olds Shane Bauer and Joshua Fatal, and 31-year-old Nora Shourd have been imprisoned since July, when they wandered too close to the border between Iran and Kurdistan. Their families have released YouTube videos showing them to be carefree vacationers, not spies. And this morning, the families are releasing a new video, with Nora Shourd's mother asking the Ayatollah Khomeini to release the 3 in the spirit of the holiday season.
Sarah, Shane, and Josh are good people. They did not mean to enter Iran. They meant no harm to the Islamic Republic of Iran. I respectfully apologize and request for your benevolence for this time of year. Please release our children and return them home to us.
But the U.S. has no diplomatic relations with Iran. Swiss diplomats representing Washington have not been able to see them since October 29th. Iran's Foreign Minister Mottaki said Monday that the 3 had entered Iran with suspicious aims. He said the judiciary will try them and impose, quote, relevant sentences. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says they should be released immediately.
We consider this a totally unfounded charge. There is no basis for it. The 3 young people who were detained by the Iranians have absolutely no connection with any kind of action against the Iranian state or government.
Last spring, Iran released journalist Roxana Saberi from a Tehran prison, even though she had been sentenced to an 8-year term for spying. So could the hikers also get out soon, despite that espionage charge?
Iran's judicial system is very nebulous, and they oftentimes do things quite abruptly. So it's not unprecedented that they would try them for espionage, charge them with espionage, and give them a long prison sentence, only to release them a few days later.
But Iran's regime is fractured by political turmoil and continuing protests. And relations with the U.S. are getting frostier. Only this week, Iran test-fired a long-range missile and canceled upcoming nuclear talks.
The U.S. is trying to keep the fate of the hikers separate from the rest of the troubled relationship with Iran, insisting that the hikers should be released on humanitarian grounds. Matt?
All right, Andrea Mitchell, thank you very much. The mothers of those missing hikers are with us exclusively. Nora Shourd, Laura Fatal, and Cindy Hickey. Ladies, good morning to all of you. This is the second time you've made an emotional appeal to people in Iran. The first time, I believe, was back around Thanksgiving to Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. It didn't work then. Why do you think it'll work now?
Well, this is a different appeal. This is to the supreme leader. And, you know, the emphasis of this appeal is it's the holidays, okay? Our children have been detained for a long, long time, almost 5 months now. So the appeal is, please let our children go. This is a very important time of year for families everywhere.
Keep in mind, and our viewers will remind our viewers, as Andrea just mentioned, there are no diplomatic relations between the U.S. and Iran. So you're relying on the Swiss, and I understand they've been very generous with their efforts to keep you in some kind of contact or informed. What have they told? How often have they been able to see your children?
The last visit was October 29th. They've seen them twice, totaling approximately 60 minutes.
Did they describe their mood, their condition, the conditions under which they're being held?
They've been described as being physically okay. Our concern is psychological and the loneliness that they must be feeling.
I think the frustration for a mother, for a relative, for anyone, is the inability to have direct contact. In other words, you can't reach out, or even with a letter or a phone call, and say, here's what we're doing. I hope you know our efforts are to this level. That's got to be just devastating.
Yes, we are desperate for a phone call. We very, very much want it, which is not unusual to have a phone call between people who are detained and their parents. And we have not received that phone call, and we've asked for it.
I know Shane, Cindy, tried to communicate some kind of a message, so at least you are aware of his mindset. What was that?
The message was to let everyone know that when we gather in vigils, that they can feel it. and he was very grateful for all the support.
I remember when this unfolded, and I spoke to some of you at that time, and I think the feeling was this was a misunderstanding and it would be sorted out. Did any of you imagine at that time that 5 months later you'd be still sitting here with no real progress?
Not in our wildest imagination do we think it would drag on this long. I mean, this is a very long, protracted detention, and we want to see it ended as soon as possible.
What about, we talked, the foreign minister of Iran recently came out and said they will be tried. Well, let's make it clear. There have been no formal charges filed against these three.
That's correct.
Do you think this will result in a trial, as was said in that piece, maybe some sort of a symbolic trial where they will be charged with espionage, perhaps convicted, but then released, as has happened in the past?
You know, we're not sure. Everything's unknown, but we want movement. We want movement. We want them home.
You've been dealing, I know, with the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. How's the U.S. government been handling this from your perspective?
The Secretary of State has been absolutely wonderful. She has spoken on our behalf and on the children's behalf numerous times. And we know the U.S. government is doing their very best and working to get the kids home.
Ladies, I'm not even going to attempt to wish you a happy holidays because I know that's pretty much impossible under the circumstances. But I wish you the best and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.